Morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome. When we get on the other side of this, I hope that you'll see the value in making a list of your wins and your successes and how you can leverage those to take on the world with a different point of view. I just want to bring up my favorite buddy's book, Customer Delight 365. I'm going through the book again for a new year, 2021. And I'm looking forward to sharing some insights with you today around that. So let me get to that right away. And the quote we have today from Brian is from Albert Einstein. And it says, strive not to be a success, but rather to be of value. And that spoke to me because of what I'm going to talk about today. Brian's take on this, he always does a narrative at the bottom. I wonder why Einstein didn't convert this to an equation. Energy plus value equals success. Isn't that brilliant? Energy plus value equals success. That's what Brian says. Success happens to be a byproduct, not a destination of creating value. When it comes to customer service, don't fret. Many equations create customer delight. I encourage you to take the time to create your own formulas for success, value, and delight in your success and in your personal life and in your business. I added those little words near the end. Isn't that brilliant? Strive not to be a success, but rather to be a value. So I'm running the show myself. There's no director behind the scenes. The director's on the screen with me because it's me, myself, and I. So let me get rid of this and share what I was thinking about with you. So a bunch of years ago, and I can't remember exactly when it happened, I was working for a company and they hired this organization that was really good at affecting change and teaching us how to change the way we think, because if you change the way you think, what you think about changes too. That's a Wayne Dyerism. And actually, it was the late 80s, early 90s. And it totally made sense to me. And my new favorite word, it's still my favorite word, has been for many years since I came across it, is efficacy. Now, in the pharmaceutical world, efficacy is really the strength of the prescription of the pill, the medication you're taking. So it's really the same thing in our psychological space as well. There's a doctor, Albert Bandera, who introduced this concept to us as human beings outside of the pharmaceutical space. And psychologically, what basically increasing your self-efficacy is really about getting more shit done. It's otherwise called causative power. What can you cause to make happen? What can I cause to make happen? And one of the hacks that I have in and around that is to make a list of all of the successes from the time you were born to where you are today, and sit down for however long it takes to list everything, absolutely everything. Now, I have to admit, I'm a little bit long in the tooth like a horse, so I don't recall what I was like as an infant of a few months old. I have no idea, personally. However, there are enough young new people that have been brought into the world at various ages. So you can go and, so if you're a parent, or if you're a grandparent or a great grandparent and you're going to do this exercise, what you could end up doing is borrowing from your grandchildren's experience or your children's experience and recall what they were doing or saying, and as they learned from the point of being wow, I got these automatic chimes. I don't know how the heck to stop them coming on. So I apologize for the background noise that snuck up on me. So I got a little bit distracted. So let's get back on task. So borrow from the grandchildren's experience, and you can add those to your success list. And then from there, what did you do? From learning to crawl, learning to stand up, learning to walk, learning to get attention of parents, how to drink out of a sippy cup and then in a regular cup, just a whole bunch of things, and everything counts. Absolutely everything counts. Absolutely everything counts. Matter of fact, one of the things I was saying when I was sending out cards a lot, I would say, or a note, I would encourage people to recall them all, big or small, they all count. So I encourage you to do the same thing. So start listing your successes, your wins, and sit down until you have a minimum of 100. You can have more, absolutely, you can have more, but a minimum of 100. And it will change your life. How do I know? Well, I use it on a regular basis. Although I have to be transparent. I want to be transparent today because I've been neglecting the second part of what I'm going to share with you. I do have, let's see if I can bring it up on the screen here and then share it with you. And I would encourage you to do the list sitting down, writing it out. Well, you could stand up, I suppose, but the key is to write it in your handwriting. Don't type it. The connection to the neurons in our brains are not the same typing a keyboard as they are cursory writing. So do that, and then part two you could do. You could type it into the next part. But let me see if I can bring this screen up and share this with you guys today. It should be showing, but it's not showing. I'm doing a share screen, and it's pretty tricky how you do it. You need a Zoom account or something equivalent, and you need an iPad, which I have right here, but you can't really read it. So on the iPad that's not showing up with what I want it to do in the sharing space is the list of my 100 successes. And I continuously add on to it anything I might do. Read a book in a shorter period of time than I normally have. And I think it's going to populate here shortly. It could be I exercised. I made some new headway in the sales process, or I learned a new, matter of fact, one of the things I'm working on right now, yeah, here it is. I can bring it up. One of the things I'm working on right now is utilizing social media to do challenges, to build an audience, to give value, and let them get to know, like, and trust me, the ones that will, and at the end of it have some sort of offer that's hugely valuable, loaded with value, that they would opt in and start being on my list. So the whole intention of this, there's two things actually, is to create your list and update your list, add to it, because without the people to serve, we're out of business, right? So it's an ongoing process to build our list and build our business. So learning how to do that, I haven't completed it yet, but bits and pieces of that are going to show up and will be on the 100 success list. So let me just share the screen real quick. I'll bring it on with me. It should just pop up. So there you see it right there. It's it's typed in here because I've done the handwriting part. So it's just a list of everything that I've ever done. I'll bring this over here so I'm looking on the camera. One of the things was StreamYard Live with a buddy of mine in England, put together a proposal, rubbing shoulders with giants. And this is not to be braggadocious. This is just to give you a sample of what's out there in terms of what I've done. So what I encourage you to do is capture what you've done. And why is that important? Well, it's important because Dr. Bandera, the psychologist I was talking to you about earlier, says we go through our life and our successes way too quickly and way too lightly. In other words, we take ourselves for granted. Somebody gives you a compliment, you go, yeah, okay, whatever. And you're moving on to the next thing, and you don't really give yourself credit or sanction what you've done. So that's one of the reasons why to do the 100 success list is to build up your efficacy, your causative power to get more things done. The other aspect is part two of this. Normally in a coaching session, when I'm working with somebody, I would go into a deeper dive and we would explore how it felt, what they found out about that whole process. And once I've done that, then I would jump into part 2. And part 2 is taking your top 10 or 15, scraping them off the list. So this is when you can type them into somewhere, maybe put them on a 3x5 card or on your phone or somewhere where you're going to be able to see them on a regular basis, because life is a journey with its ups and downs. There's a book about the valleys and peaks that we face as we're living our lives, running our business, etc. That there's good in both. I mean, we're all striving to get somewhere, be somebody, learn something most of the time. So as a result of that, some of the things that stop us are our thoughts. That's the main thing. I was listening to Jeffrey Gitomer this morning when he was doing his live stream, his 9:59 live stream, and he was talking about being fearless. And he says, yeah, there's a lot of salespeople know what to do, but they don't do it. He says, I don't understand it. Well, I do. It's the way we think. We have stinking thinking. We're thinking about the worst outcome. We have habitual thoughts that are holding us in our place where we see ourselves, our self-image. So if we want to do something, get a different result, we need to do something different to increase the efficacy or our causative power. This life hack, creating the 100 success list, scraping off the top 10, is a hack that could help you do this. Why do I say that? Like I said earlier, I've done this before. So one of the things that's allowed me to do is be on the same stage as Brian Tracy, talking to a group of peers, business coaches in San Diego at the Westin Hotel. And I rehearsed it in my mind's eye and in my theater of mind, as Maxwell Maltz calls it, before I even went to San Diego. And it reduced the stress levels of being on stage. Actually, was quite comfortable and got some pretty good feedback. Somebody said to me at that meeting, after I talked over a coffee or beverage, they asked me, said, so how many times have you done this presentation, Phil? And the reality is, on the physical plane, I did it once in San Diego in front of those people. But in my mind, I'd done it 100 times, because I was able to borrow the successes that I had from my previous experiences, and I flicked back to the successes, and then I flicked up to the new me, who I want to be. And I grew into it first in my self-image, so that when I was on the stage presenting to those people, I was fairly calm, cool, and collected, entertaining, and somewhat passionate about the topic. I actually was quite passionate about it. But that all came from seeing myself at my future best, leveraging my past successes, and using those emotions to put me into a place where I had never done anything like that before. And whether you're being picked for the captain of your hockey team, or you write an essay as an adult for a course you're taking and get a great mark and how that all felt, or if it's getting your driver's license finally after 5 attempts, and 3 attempts were the car's fault, okay? But parallel parking was a tricky part. I can do it now, but boy, when I was first starting to learn how to do it, was tough. The 100 success lists, scrape off the top 10 and wallow in them. Relish everything that you've done in the top 10, like the ones that really speak to you. And if you were to review that a couple of times a day as a minimum, it doesn't take a lot of time, just like 10. Just think about it, feel the emotions, and see yourself in the new thing that you want to do, make happen, borrowing the emotions and the wins and successes from your past. And you end up assimilating seeing yourself in a new position, a new experience, as if it's already done, not on the physical plane, but in your imagination. That's my hack for today, guys. I just wanted to share that thing because it's been instrumental for me, and I've been going through some interesting mindful things, but also some of the things that we chase after take time. There's a gestation period, and I'm pretty close to earning the right to provide some additional sales training for an organization that I've been courting, is one way to describe it, for several months in this particular division. And we're pretty close to being there. And what helps keep me in the right state of mind is leveraging the past experiences and moving forward with the expectation of something grand or great coming my way. So if you want to know more about that, reach out to me, send me a message. If you like what I talked about today and you feel that others might gain by this, share it out to people. Tell people about this. Hashtag replay if you're seeing it then, let me know. Let's see who's here. It's Larry Schneider. Larry, you were just on, you heard Jeffrey talk about being fearless. So this is a way to help people be fearless, to get rid of the who am I to do this stuff, to raise their ability to get more things done in their life. So I just wanted to do a short one today, not take a lot of your time. I know we're all busy doing things. It's an exciting year, opportunity to grow and support and serve those people that are important to you. If you want to get hold of me, you just have to go to coachphil.ca is the website. If you want to find out some information, get some free stuff, or read my past blogs. There's or watch videos that I've posted up there on other topics. Or if you want to send me an email, it's phil@coachphil.ca. Have an amazing day. Have a wonderful day. And I spelled that on purpose differently from one of my mentors, because take the O out of wonderful and put a U in there for wonderful, because you are wonderful.